Are you wondering what the secrets to wealth generation are? Well, you better stay tuned because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. Hey, Frank Thomas here from Wealth Generation Strategies, and today we're going to be unpacking the whole topic of what is the secrets to gaining wealth. It's based upon the book from George Clason, and I did a first video on this that kind of introduced the characters and introduced the whole idea of being dissatisfied. I'll be linking it at the end of the video here if you want to go take a peek at that one. But today we're going to be talking about the second chapter. Our heroes go to the richest man in Babylon, which is a childhood friend of theirs, Arcad, and talk to him and ask him, so what's the secret? Today we're going to be unpacking that and taking a really deep look at it. And for the bonus, I'm going to be talking about some traps you might get into that can stop you from gaining wealth and following the things that Arcad mentions. Don't let these stop you, and make sure you stay tuned and watch them at the end because it will make a big difference in your financial life. Okay, let's get started here. The whole premise of this chapter in this book right now is our heroes have gone to sit and talk to Arcad and say, how is it that you are the richest man in Babylon and we live in squalor? I just don't understand. Well, first of all, Arcad decides to dispel the myth that it was chance. It was just chance or good luck that he had. He just had a lucky break in life. They actually like to say that fickle fate. Arcad says she's a vicious goddess. And I have to believe that. I've seen it in my own life where you would hope that the right things would happen, but they don't. You ever heard of Murphy's Law? It's kind of the whole same idea. What can happen will happen at the worst possible time. That's fickle fate. And he says that it brings no permanent good to anyone. Even if fickle fate gives you wealth, he says that the person who gained that wealth will go one of two ways in most cases. One way is they'll just wantonly spend all that they got, and then they'll have a hunger in life for more of that finery that they can't afford anymore, and it drives them into poverty. And I've seen that happen. The second is they'll become very miserly and very unhappy because they didn't learn the skills or the secrets to wealth collection. They believe that once that money's gone, they're never going to have it again. And I have felt that way too. When I was a younger man, my wife had gained an inheritance and I had gained a small inheritance. And put together, it was a reasonably good amount. I was really paranoid of this money for almost 2 years. Like, what do I do with it? I don't know. And it just sat in a bank account. Eventually, it did bleed away because I didn't take care for that money properly, and it just bled away. What I worried about actually did happen, and it happened to me. So I'm living testimony to what Arcad is saying in this book. The next thing that he talks about is this Arcad fellow had an epiphany, so to speak, that he come to realize that wealth is power. Wealth gives you the ability to enjoy the fineries of life. Wealth gives you the ability to eat the delicacies, to wear nice clothing, have a nice ride, like they had chariots in Babylon, but we can go have a nice nice car ride. But it's wealth that's the powerhouse here. And he came to realize that. Again, like I've talked about in the video previously, he came to this place where he started having dissatisfaction. So he started hunting for the reason why people get wealthy and he's not getting wealthy. He was a scribe. Scribes basically did that. They hammered on stone tablets to make copies of notes, and they would get paid for their labors. A fellow by the name of Elgamash had come to ask him to do some work for him, and in payment, he asked him to teach him how to become wealthy. And the guy said, okay, I think that's a fair trade. I can do that. So when he came to pay him, Elgamash said he found the road to wealth when he decided that a part of all that he earned was his to keep. That was the big secret. Part of everything he owned was his to keep. Immediately, Arcad came back and said, wait a second, everything I earn, can't I keep it? Isn't it mine? Elgamash says, no. When you get paid, where does the money go? Does it stay in your pocket, or does a bit of it go to pay your bills and to pay your loans and to pay for the fineries of life and to pay for toys? And at the end of the month, everything that you had is gone. Think about it for a second. I just take a second here and think. 3 months ago, did you earn $2,000 a month or $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 in that month? How much of it do you still have left? after 3 months. I dare say 80% of the population will have none of it left. None of it left. So was it theirs to keep? No, they had to hand it out to everybody around them. And you could say, well, Frank, I got to live. And that's correct. You do have to live. But the secret here is a piece of everything you earn is yours to keep. And you have to guard that, and you got to make it something you just do. And I've talked in a lot of videos that I talk about, you have to pay yourself first, and it has to become a habit. In other words, you just do it every time you get paid. Now, how much is it to keep? He recommends 10% is yours to keep. My recommendation is 10% should be the minimum. If you can save more, it's better. It speeds up your wealth creation process much faster. But if it's only 10%, you can do it. He also strikes upon the fact that you're going to miss this money. Like, well, if I take 10% away, I'm going to miss it. And Arcad found that he didn't miss it. After a few months, he actually forgot. And he was able to save over the course of a year enough to make an investment. One of the questions that Elgamash asked him, so Arcad, if you save for a whole year, how much do you have? Oh, he said, well, that's easy, master. If I save for a year and I save 10%, I'll have a year's worth of savings. And he goes, you'll not only have that year's worth of savings, but you'll have the dividends that are paid from your saving, whether it be interest in an account or interest in a venture or a dividend in a stock or whatever it is in today's day and age, you will also have that as well. And that's a very exceedingly powerful force. So that's an important thing to come to realize too. But earlier I said that, Arcad saved up a year's worth of wealth and he invested it, but he made it into a poor investment. Here's the second point. You need to seek good investments. You have to treat whatever you've saved as precious, and you have to care for it, and you got to feed it. So you want to make sure that you don't put it into bad investments. Let me tell you a bad investment that I got involved in. Oh my goodness, I am embarrassed to tell you, but I did it. What happened was, it was the beginning of the crypto era, and it was a hot topic. Everybody was into it. And a company came along, I can't even remember the name of it anymore, and they made ridiculous promises for ridiculous earnings. Bad investments usually come with ridiculous claims too, so just remember that. Anything above 10%, in my opinion, is a ridiculous claim, unless it can be substantiated with real hard facts and figures. Now, I do have some things that I'm involved in that do earn more than 10%, and they're good, solid investments, but I realize that they hold a higher risk factor. Needless to say, I got involved with this. I invested about $10,000-$12,000 into it and promptly lost it because the company went and folded. Well, it was touchy. It was a good burn, and it hurt because it was money I'd saved up and put away. It was now gone. I didn't have any of it. I felt like I was stolen from, and I essentially was. But I came to realize from that I have to be a little more careful in things I invest into. In the book, Arcad actually invested into a deal that with a brickmaker to go buy these gems, these precious gems, and they would sell them, and they'd make all this money from this return, yada yada. The story, no matter what the story is, it has the same premises to it. Needless to say, they got sold worthless pieces of glass, and the money was gone. So they were stolen from too. So make sure that you put your investments into good investments. That's the second secret. The third one is Elgamash comes back on several occasions to sit and talk with him. On the third visit, he has saved up again a year's worth of wages, and he's actually had a year to save. And he invested it into a good investment, which was making a good return. And he was slowly collecting wealth from that because he continued to put 10% in. So his mentor said to him, this Elgamash, what are you spending the dividends on? What are you spending the earnings from your savings on? Oh, I went and bought I went and got a new coat and a new hat, and I got a new this and a new that. And he's like, oh, you're shooting yourself in the foot, dude. You got to leave them alone. He actually called it eating the children of your slaves. In other words, the money you've put away is your slave, and it's designed to help you build wealth. Now, if you take whatever it earns and spend it, then you've basically eaten the children of your slaves. The idea here, and what makes compound interest work, is you leave it in there and you reinvest it. That's a lesson he learned next. So that's the third lesson to wealth creation. Eventually, he learned the fourth powerful force, and I mention this a lot in a lot of videos. I say in the videos, one thing I came to realize is when I decided to take on the mentality and the mindset of saving and creating wealth, it's almost like the world conspired to help me out. Whereas before, I felt like the world was conspiring to hurt me. And the minute that I decided to change my thinking on this and start saving and putting away, boom, everything came up roses. Now, does everything work? No, I still make some bad investments, but I've learned to keep my risks very small, but my rewards extremely high. Needless to say, he said he found the same thing. In his book here, what happened is this Gilgamesh is becoming old, and he feels that his sons are not going to properly take care of his business and continue doing things like he is. They're just more interested in spending. And that's another important lesson. Usually when a person doesn't learn or is unwilling to learn because they get too easily, then they will never learn how to retain and build that wealth. Very important lesson. And I see it happen all the time again too. So what he did was he offered him the opportunity of becoming a co-inheritor of his estate. That he would go and he would help manage his estate for this fellow as he's getting older. And what he would do is he would write him into his will that he would inherit a part of that business. He passed away, and that's exactly what happened. He inherited a part of that business. Hey, are you enjoying this video? I hope you are. If you are, subscribe. I've got some more videos that are going to be coming out in this little book. Really good little book. Go pick it up. It's cheap. You can get it at used bookstores. You can get it online for free. I believe it's in public domain. But go pick up a book. It's in used bookstores, new bookstores. It's been around for almost 100 years now. Really good book, and read through it and take time to study its notes. Okay, so let's get into our bonus here. People will look for an excuse for why what you've just said. Let's say you've come to somebody and say, oh, you know, if you learn how to bake this cake and you do the ingredients this way and you do this and you use the pin and you do this and you do that, the cake will come out perfectly every single time. They'll come to you and say, well, you know, my oven's not a really good, you got a good oven, so it's impossible for me. Oh, well, you have this really good skill with baking and I don't have that. So in other words, they're looking for an excuse not to take action. Do not make an excuse to not take action. That will stunt your ability. Even if you know the secrets of wealth collection, it'll stunt your ability to get going, get started, and make it happen for yourself. And that's another thing too. Just get started. Go to the store today and find a copy of this book and start reading it right away. Go and set up an investment account with Questrade or Wealthsimple or whatever the company is, and start investing 10% of your earnings that is yours to keep starting today, and make it a habit. That will stunt your growth if you don't do it. They were saying, oh, well, Arcad, you were very fortunate, you had fortune give you, and they're going back to the same excuses you tried to dispel earlier. Fortune has blessed you, and oh, you see, I can't do it because fortune has blessed you. Look at that. And he goes, I worked hard for that opportunity, and that's my point. If you work hard at your day job, you'll get better opportunities. As a programmer, I've worked very hard to accelerate my career. And you know something? I have. I earn, oh, goodness gracious, 3 times of what I used to earn before I became a developer because I've worked so hard. I've pushed myself to learn and to grow and to pick up technologies and to do things and to get involved with good projects, become a better negotiator and to run my business better, and you name it, I've done it, and I've seen the results from it. Now I'm doing the same things with my earnings. I'm doing all those same things. I'm learning how to invest better. I'm learning how to do things better. I'm learning how to create other little businesses. I'm learning how to do all these things because it all benefits my wealth creation journey. Another point they bring out is, oh, well, you must have this strong willpower to be able to save. It's strong will. You have willpower that we just don't have. And again, he says, no. It's got nothing to do with willpower. It's got everything to do with just creating what I call a habit. Just every day, you just do it. Every time $10 come into your wallet or your purse, $1 goes and it's yours. You save it. It's 10%. And you just mechanically do it. You don't deviate from that plan. You don't got to think about it. You just got to do it. It's not willpower. It's habitual power, if it's any kind of power. And you have the ability to create any habit, good or bad, that you want to. So make sure that you take these points on and start learning and putting into practice the secrets to wealth. If you want to learn more about whether or not you feel that you're ready to become rich, because that's a really good question. There's a video showing right now, which is talking about the very first chapter of this book and how our heroes of the book came to a place where they realized that they wanted to be rich. Be sure to check it out if you're interested. If not, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again in another video. Okay, talk to them. Bye-bye.